Welcome back to the Basement Boys podcast and this week's free episode. If you're interested in bonus episodes, behind the scenes, bloopers, and more, check out patreon.com/basementboyspodcast, where most of that content is available for just $2 a month. Regardless, we appreciate all your support and we hope you enjoy this episode. Come here, bud. Oh, so handsome. Okay. I can't play tug of war with you on the podcast, bud.
You can and you will.
Hi, buddy.
All right, listen.
Hi.
We've got a lot of topics to talk about, and all of them are Bowser.
We really don't have a lot. Though, he got his shots recently.
He did get his shots. He's been shot.
He's been shot. He's a good boy. He got his shots. He's doing well. You look, like, sad.
I just want to make sure he's not getting to my socks.
He wants your socks.
He can have my socks when I'm dead.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
He'll have to kill me to
You
get
actually
my
have, like, fancy socks. I don't think I own any socks that aren't straight white or straight black. Hey,
Great Bear socks.
You're wearing... Listen, I respect it, though. You actually own roller coaster socks, and I don't.
Yeah,
and
I'm a better roller coaster fan.
I'm the roller coaster enthusiast here. Speaking of, I really want to go to another amusement park soon.
That was fast.
What? What was
just
that?
the divulgence into roller coaster talk.
Oh my god. Listen, we can talk about roller coasters every episode. It doesn't matter. Roller coasters, video games.
We're the roller coaster podcast
and
now.
stories about our high school. Are
the
like,
dropping boys.
There are very few things in life that are certain. It's like death, taxes, and us talking about roller coasters, video games, and high school stories on the podcast. But I really want to go again. I want to have a good time. We have so much... It kind of sucks in a way because we've thought of so many funny videos that we could record at an amusement park. Like I said, it's kind of crazy that we've been to the amusement park twice and only recorded one video that isn't even really comedic. And now we have all these comedic ideas for videos we could record at the amusement park. And at best, we'll go one more time this year before winter comes. If that, it's possible we go 0 times. So we might just save some of those ideas for next year. Which kind of sucks.
Or we could just go one day and do like a work day and just bang them all out.
Just go to the amusement park one day, not to ride rides, but just to record 7 different videos.
Honestly.
I'm down.
Let's do it.
Straight up. But yeah, well, welcome back to it. I want to start this episode by kind of discussing some important clerical changes to how we're running the podcast. You might have noticed the intro for this podcast is different than the intro we pretty much used in every episode prior. And that is because, Zach, I'm glad you noticed. That's because we are no longer doing daily bonus episodes, or weekly. Jesus, imagine.
Every day.
Hey, listen, if
we ever end up being able to steam on like the Joe Rogan podcast, I will eat your hat.
If this is a full-time job in the future and people really want us going daily, if the money's there, I'll do it. But in the past, we've said in previous podcasts, and we talked a little bit about it on the Patreon, that we were going to try to do a bonus podcast episode every week. So we have a, Basement Boys podcast, and we have a Basement Boys Patreon podcast. And for the most part, we've done almost as many Patreon episodes as free episodes. But we've missed a couple weeks. We've had things come up. I think we have like 15 Patreon episodes, and this is episode 20 of the podcast, the free podcast.
That's what the notes say.
Something like that.
Well, that's what the script says.
The script, yeah, we're reading a 1 hour long word for word script right here. Imagine, dude, there's got to be a podcast out there that's like scripted, and I'm not saying like obviously there's scripted podcasts out there, but I'm saying there's got to be like
scripted to the word podcasts out there, and if so, why? Who's out there writing hour-long scripts? That's honestly dedication. Back to the topic. I got off track. We are changing our Patreon around a little bit. So instead of doing bonus episodes every week, we are going to do either a bonus episode or some like fun Basement Boys related video. Because as of right now, we're kind of running out of time to do 2 episodes a week every week. It's why we've, forgotten a couple weeks and why we've missed a couple weeks of Patreon episodes. It's why the Patreon podcast has 15 episodes and the free podcast has 20. Yeah, and we feel bad about that. So we no longer want to accidentally miss a Patreon episode. And therefore this week is the first week we're purposely not recording a Patreon episode. And instead we're just doing some shorter
more edited content. So look forward to that. I think it'll give us more time to work on stuff, and hopefully give us more time to work on our own personal channels, because those still exist beyond.
I really would love to actually start working on my own personal channel.
You should upload.
But I got fucking hyped to do it while I was at my grandparents' house, but now that I'm back here, I just want to lie around and eat chips and watch TV.
That's pretty much all you've done since you came back.
Yup. Fuck
and you should upload. I'm going to put a password on the TV that only me and the other roommates know.
I just have this one simply.
God dang it. Alright, well, you should upload, Zach.
I should.
I forgot you have your own TV. I don't recognize this as a TV. I recognize this as, like, background footage for the podcast.
It's all that's on there constantly, all the time.
Oh, man.
Not to mention I could watch everything on my computer.
Yeah, I guess. But you should upload.
I should.
What would convince you to upload? Like, what do I have to say to you to get you to upload?
I don't fucking that people would actually like it.
I think people would, though, because I liked Bible Man. You've uploaded once this year, and I loved that video.
I don't see
Other than the fact that you edited it to make me look like an asshole, and I still like the video. Which I don't appreciate.
I gotta get my penance somehow.
I don't appreciate being edited as the villain of that video, but whatever.
No. The cheater was the villain of that video.
Sure. But you should upload more. The one upload you've done in 2020, I really liked.
I do actually have another show, whatever the fuck from my childhood, that I would love to watch with you.
So you want to make another reaction video is what you're saying?
I want to drag your ass into this bullshit. Yes.
Well, I'm down. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have more time to upload on our personal channels. And we'll still be doing the same amount of content on the Patreon, just less Patreon podcasts and more Patreon videos, just random entertaining videos. We've done a couple of gaming videos. We've done some behind the scenes. We really want to do a set tour finally. Not just showing off the set. We've kind of done that. But we want to do like a full extensive set tour on the Patreon. In that set tour, we want to talk about the little things we have in the set. Things that are special.
Put fake emotional meaning behind every single item.
No, not every single item.
Easily.
There are some items here that like have emotional meaning. I'm gonna be honest. Like this little Breath of the Wild amiibo. Don't really care too much about Twilight Princess, but Twilight Princess is still cool. I didn't even know you had this.
I do have that.
Yeah.
That's how you summon Wolflink. That's why I have it.
We're ranting a lot right now. I apologize.
Yes, that is true.
We'll try to get more concise. And by we, I mean you keep getting me off topic.
You know what?
Which is a problem.
I feel like if we had a letter, like a to-the-letter script, this wouldn't be an issue.
I should write hour-long scripts.
Yes, you should.
Is what you're asking.
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Because I'll still manage to get us off topic with an hour.
Okay.
But no, I'm honestly looking at my YouTube channel right now because I wanted to see how well Bible Man is doing. Mm-hmm. And it's doing all right. But I think I should release more one-hit wonders, like bludgeoning a Nox to death with a Prova.
I don't know if those
like help grow.
That was
your
basically
channel,
just to show off how like awful that weapon was at the time.
Yeah, I know, and it's a funny video, but I'm saying like, you shouldn't strive to be a one-hit wonder YouTube channel.
I wasn't saying one hit. I'm saying that's like one of my best performing videos that could be replicated.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the exact opposite of one-hit wonder.
Listen, I need you to stop taking away from my...
My bad.
From my... I still am fucking...
What?
Shocked that the one time I did clickbait, it did really well.
Yeah, your one clickbait
I'm
video.
really mad about that, too, because I didn't want it to do well.
Yeah, well, maybe don't make clickbait if you don't want it to succeed. If you don't put it out there, it can't succeed.
Well, but like it's an obvious like testament to that. Like I should try to be a little clickbaity, but like with shit I actually would be able to deliver upon.
Yeah, I mean, like Mr. Beast's format of clickbait that's mostly real is amazing, and now he's almost evolved to like clickbait that is fully real. Yeah. Like some of his older videos were a little bit more clickbaity, where I remember there's one video of like trying to stop a bullet with like a wall of magnets, and that was never gonna work. I knew it was never gonna work before I clicked on the video as someone who owns guns, but I still watched it and it was still entertaining. It was just a little clickbaity.
They just use an iron bullet?
It was just a little clickbaity.
Kidding.
It was
It's a little clickbaity. But now Mr. Beast is like giving away $700,000 islands, and nothing of that statement is false.
That's fucking wild. The upgrade.
And
trying to
it's
stop a
crazy.
bullet with magnets to giving away a $700,000 island.
Mr. Beast is one of the craziest while also coolest stories on YouTube, and I love it. I love it.
Where did he get the first bit of wealth? Was it like, I inherited this and I want to do something crazy positive with it? Or
no, he wasn't rich.
Oh.
He's made all his money from like YouTube and brand deals.
Okay, that's wild.
And at first, when I thought you were like saying where did he make all his wealth, I thought you were mentioning or asking. I thought you were asking what videos popped off originally.
Partially, that was the question as well.
Well, then say that next time. No, I'm sorry. I'm being toxic today.
Sorry, I'm bad at articulating.
I'm very irritable today.
The fuck yeah, you are.
Which, I don't know why. I think it's because I'm back to school, which I said in the last podcast is something I wanted to happen. I wanted to go back to classes, but I'm quickly second-guessing that statement. Anyways, we're getting off track. Mr. Beast, I don't really have a perfect timeline of his channel growth in my head, but I do know like some of his videos that got him on the map were similar to what he's doing today, which is like clickbait, if I could not stutter, clickbait that is true. So there was one video, I remember, one of his first, super popular. I'm not going to say the first, because again, I'm not a Mr. Beast historian, but one of his first videos that put him on the map was counting to, I think it was 100,000, and it was just like a long 11-hour video or something. And he counted from 1 to 100,000 individually and didn't miss a single number. And like stuff like that like he was just doing these outrageous things that no one else would ever do, and that kind of put him on the map. And now it's just evolved to, in my opinion, perfection. Like, I love his channel.
No, that's fucking crazy.
Anyways, going back to the Patreon topic we have for today's episode, we want to do more content on the Patreon, but we want to do less podcasts on the Patreon, just because these podcasts take so much time out of the week.
Yeah.
So I got to record an hour of Minecraft footage for background. That's 1 hour. The podcasts take about an hour to record. Then I got to review all that footage and edit it if I need to edit things out. So that's another hour. And then rendering it takes about an hour. And while I can go do other things while I render, I can't do anything else on my PC because rendering takes so much processing power. So that's like doing one podcast a week takes about 4 hours of my time, 3 to 4 hours. And we were trying to do 2 a week, so that's like 8 hours of my week used up for the podcast. So if we stop doing that second podcast every week, don't be wrong, we're still going to do Patreon podcasts. We still have a lot of fun ideas for Patreon podcasts. We like to explore and test things out. The Patreon podcast series is where we did our first car podcast, our first guest, our first video game podcast, which we haven't done a free episode in a video game yet, where we record the entire podcast while we play a video game.
We could play this Minecraft file.
Oh boy. But yeah, we still want to test things out on the Patreon and put a lot of content up. But honestly, instead of spending 4 hours of my life recording, editing, and putting up a Patreon podcast, I can spend those 4 hours with Zach recording a fun video instead for the Patreon. And that's the plan. Yeah. So the wordage we're going to use moving forward is every week, if you support our Patreon, you'll get one podcast or a video. And that's how it's worded on the Patreon page as well. So there's no confusion. It's also why I changed the intro, so there's no confusion. In the previous intro, I said bonus episodes every week, and I didn't want to keep using that intro if that's no longer going to be true. So we've changed things up a bit. And like I said, I'm excited for the Patreon. It'll be really cool to finally like put up a set tour on the Patreon so you can see our set and like the things we have in it, kind of how it works. It's almost a mixture of like super professional and super unprofessional.
Yep.
Like we have professional studio lighting, but we use a phone to record.
Yeah.
We have a pretty good
phone.
We have a pretty good mic, but only one of them instead of 2 mics that we can both directly talk into.
Yep. We have no mixer.
We have no mixer, but we have soundproofing. Like, it's whenever there's something good about our set that we can point out, there's something bad.
It's a pros cons list, but the pros are like not a lizard person, and the cons are maybe a lizard person. Now, my question: you mentioned that you were excited to go back to college, but now you're not feeling it as much.
Yeah, too much homework, man. And it's because I'm in my last year, so I'm taking like some of my most difficult classes this year.
Yeah.
But it's so much. It's so much. Like,
and it doesn't help that everything's on Zoom.
Oh God, I hate it. I hate Zoom. Oh, I can't wait to uninstall Zoom after I get my degree. That'll be probably one of the happiest moments ever.
Most kids like burn their textbooks and all their homework. You're just like, uninstall.
Uninstalling Zoom might be one of my happiest feelings of release, other than like throwing out all of my ex's stuff that was up there. I kind of forgot about it as well. So I held on to it for like longer than I meant to, and then I just found some of it like under my bed one night, and I'm like, oh, this is going ceremoniously in a dumpster. So
ceremoniously.
That was a fun night. I'm trying to think, what other beautiful moments of just
joy, bliss,
moving on from something terrible have I had in my life? Graduating high school, kind of, was that feeling, because I really fucking hated our high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated a lot of people there. Oh, God.
I fucking forgot. Do you remember that kid, that fatter kid that my friend group in middle school always picked on? They kicked him in the nuts a bunch of times.
Yeah, and they kicked him in the nuts so much that one of his nuts burst.
Cool, I didn't know if that was okay to say out loud.
Well, we're not saying his name.
True. Anyway, my, whole family was at our 8th grade graduation, which is a fucking stupid concept, by the way.
Yeah, why did our school do
Fuck
that?
off.
8th grade graduation is the stupidest thing.
Especially since we're not leaving the building.
Yeah, because
it would make sense for an actual public school to be like, yeah, you're graduating 8th grade, or my old private school.
You're graduating middle school, going to high school.
That only goes to 8th grade, being yeah, you're graduating 8th grade. But they're like, yeah, you're gonna be over there next year.
Yeah, because our school is kind of crazy. And
instead of this trailer, you're gonna be in that trailer.
Yeah, our school was made up a ton of trailers and had from 3rd grade up to 12th grade, which were both the trailers and the amount of students and the different grades, all of those things were, I guess just points of contention that I didn't realize were
not
wrong.
Normal.
Yeah, I didn't realize it wasn't normal when I went there. And then when I graduated and started talking to people who went to real schools, I was like, oh, so you didn't have 3rd graders walking in the same hallways as 12th graders. That's weird.
Yeah. You didn't have teachers telling their students in 2nd grade to stay close to the walls so that the big kids can get through without bumping into you.
Yeah.
That was a real moment that I don't I understand her wanting them not to get in the way or get hurt or anything, but I'm simply going to dodge a small child that I see in front of me.
Well, that's just really
I'm not going to walk through them.
That's just a really bad idea.
They were basically teaching them to fear us, which is kind of fucked up.
I love having droves of children fear me.
Honestly, how many children do you think you could kick?
In what context? Before I get caught?
Okay, so
before I'm tired?
So there's a bunch of 4th graders coming at you in the gymnasium.
I hate you. This is a Gus and Any bit. We can't steal their bits. I'm already stealing Sugar Pine 7 bits accidentally because I have them so ingrained in my head that I just say them half the time now. But then again, Sugar Pine 7 dead. So
fuck. That's fucked up, dude.
Sugar Pine 7 is kind of dead. So if I do steal their bits, am I really hurting anyone? I'm kidding. They still do a podcast. I love their podcast. Support their podcast.
Anyway, back to my story of the One Nut Wonder.
Yes.
He at our 8th grade graduation, basically rolled up and met my aunt. He's like, "Oh, hey Zach, your aunt is hot." I'm like, "Okay, her fiance thinks so too. Thanks." And he just kind of he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm out."
So you had an 8th grader hit on your aunt?
My aunt, who was 24 at the time, yes. Might have been older.
Might be older. Probably older.
I don't know her actual age.
Probably.
I just know that she was in college when I was in elementary school.
People at our school were so dumb. It's why, I never really dated anyone from our high school, and instead I decided to date people who went to other schools, because there were just no people, really, that I could ever like have a crush on and then keep a crush on that person without realizing, oh, I'm wrong. Like,
yeah.
this is a mistake.
I think there was exactly one person that I ever could have even dated from high school. Not in high school, from high school. Like now I could, because I'm not
that's a good
the
statement.
human trash dumpster fire that I was then.
Yeah,
And they also are not a dumpster fire.
I was gonna make fun of you, but in a nice way. But like, in high school, you just got the short end of the stick. It's not even me making fun of you. It's just the truth. Like, everyone fucking hated you.
Yeah.
Everyone hated you. So
and I'm not quite
I agree
sure
with that
why.
statement. You probably wouldn't have gotten a girlfriend while in high school, but there are people now that, like, if they met you again, they'd probably be interested.
Yeah.
Because now they like don't have the high school, I guess, cliques and the high school.
And like the views of me that were determined by people I'd never fucking met.
Like the social rules that went on within our high school were
so bad.
The worst, but...
The mathletes were essentially the athletes because there were no athletes.
The social rules in our high school were the smart kids were the popular kids because we didn't have athletes, we didn't have, like, jocks, and the only other social rule really was everyone hates Zach.
Yep.
And now that we've kind of broken free from those social rules, I feel like you could succeed in a relationship, especially now that you're single again.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, shout out to the Patreon. I feel dirty shouting out the Patreon in the episode because we shouted out in the intro.
I feel dirty shouting out the Patreon over this.
But in our last episode of the Patreon podcast, or no, our second last episode now, because I did last week's alone while you were busy with your like heavy work schedule. In our second last episode of the Patreon podcast, that Patreon podcast talks in detail about Zach's breakup and new life as a single person again. So if you want the juicy details...
If you want the tea, sis.
$2 a month.
$2.
$2 a month.
$2 and I spill the fucking tea all over this room.
All over myself, this chest, these little tiny hairs I'm growing.
The 3 hairs right here.
Oh.
That I think might be cancerous.
Oh, no.
Like skin cancer, not actual cancer, you know?
Yeah, of course.
The fake cancer that you can just remove with no consequence.
Sure,
Anyway.
that's the thing. Fuck Zoom, by the way. Can we go back to that?
Yeah.
Fuck Zoom. I hate doing my classes online. It's not a setting in which I succeed, and I'm only getting mad. Like, and I have so much work this semester, too, like I said before. I, in this week alone, had to read pretty much all of Beowulf, the first 12 chapters of Frankenstein. I just got the hiccups out of nowhere.
Idiot.
The first chapter of my logic textbook. I have to read Native American poems, and I have a gen ed class, which is easier but still like work. Those are my 5 classes, and I'm doing so much reading and so much writing, and I'm quickly realizing how little time I'm gonna have to do other things. This is also another reason why we stopped trying to do 2 episodes every week.
Yeah.
We're going to do 2 episodes when we can and put the bonus on the Patreon. But other weeks, we're just going to do some fun videos. Like this week, we're going to have a behind-the-scenes video and a gaming video, probably. That's the plan. It's a very rough plan, though, because my homework and school schedule comes first, and then my video schedule comes second. Yeah. So we'll see. Like, I have so many videos I could upload and edit for my personal YouTube channels, but those are getting pushed off because of school. So it's a lot of like time management right now for me, and I just wish I had more time, but I'm busy reading Frankenstein, Beowulf, and Native American poetry, and it's so much reading.
What is Native American poetry like?
It's a lot of repetition and a lot of... I feel like using the word personification could be offensive if people really believe in it, but like, having animals and like nature be almost superhuman and realistic.
Okay.
It's a lot of like myth That's the good word
So
I'll use.
it's like the Native American mythology we studied
Yeah.
in middle school. Holy shit, in middle school.
Yeah, I can't believe we were studying Native American mythology in middle school, but I don't remember any of it, and I'm relearning it now.
And I'm relearning it now.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot. And like I said, I'm trying to be careful with my words because obviously some people believe like Native American myth or literature.
someone believes everything.
Oh, of course. People believe in literally anything that can be out there, which is crazy. Like there's I'm not going to get to it. I'm going to make people mad if I list like specific belief systems that people believe that I think are dumb. We're going to move on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are people who believe like Native American mythology as truth. So I'm not trying to offend them, but myth is the best word I can use for it. And it's I like it a little bit more than the other things I'm reading this semester because it has a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
So if I lose track of where I am or like I'm not fully focusing on the reading, it'll just tell me it again.
Yeah.
It'll remind me what I'm reading.
Wonderful.
So this semester is going to be a lot of reading, a lot of writing, and then the rest of my time left over, the rest of my free time is going to be devoted to videos and Twitch streaming. Like making videos and doing Twitch streams as much as I can on the side, but those are kind of a secondary priority. They're not the main focus until again I can make a full-time job out of it. That's always been my mentality though. I think like that's the healthiest mentality.
Yeah.
Is don't like quit your studies or your job for YouTube. Don't quit your studies and your job for Twitch unless you can make a full-time job out of it. And some advice that other YouTubers, one example I can think of off the top of my head is Jericho suggests don't quit your job or don't quit like college until you're making double of like a full-time job, like double what you would normally at your job or at your like profession that you're studying for.
Yeah, because of like I assume taxes and stuff.
Well, that and just Twitch and YouTube are so inconsistent.
Yeah,
that
it's good to also have like as much in savings.
They're going to be good months, but they're also going to be very bad months. So as long as your average pay is double that of what your current job is now.
Yeah, the worst month ever can be survived.
Yeah, if you have a really, really bad month, you can still make a livable amount of money.
Yep.
And I would love to get that point. I've said it on this podcast. I've said it on the Patreon podcasts that we do. My dream job, even though I'm very happy with my degree, I love writing, I would love to be a journalist, which is my major. My dream job, hands down, above journalism, is content creation. Especially Twitch streaming. Because it's the most fun hobby that also makes me a little bit of money on the side I've ever done. Like, I love Twitch streaming. And then even over journalism, I would love to make a living off being an author, but you can't, like, go to college for that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm going to college for journalism, which is, like, my third favorite job.
What is your second favorite?
I said
author.
Author.
Right. Don't mind me, I'm a dumb bitch.
No, it's okay. You're good, dog. But, I don't know. What is your, like, dream profession?
I'd love to entertain people, but honestly, right now, if I can fucking nail what I'm doing right now, I'm down to, like, move up in my current industry.
Which is what? Just for the
Industrial sanitation.
Industrial sanitation. So, where is there to, like, how do you move up in that industry, though? Because I know right now you're, like, cleaning, like,
honestly,
factory.
I'm about 2 pegs under the highest you can go without a degree.
You're, like, cleaning factory line parts, right?
I'm basically, like, so the line runs, and then when it doesn't run is when we clean it. So, like, for instance, the bread line we have runs 6 days out of the week.
Okay.
And then they go down for 12 hours on Monday. And during those 12 hours on Monday, we clean every part of the line and make sure that it is clean, sanitary, and ready to be used again. And then the next week we do the same thing, which actually my work schedule recently changed to be basically the best it can be, in my opinion.
And what is that?
There are 2 teams now.
Okay.
One of the team has all the losers that can't handle 12-hour days.
Okay.
And the other team is the team I'm on. Basically, we work 3 12-hour days and 1 4-hour day. But I'm trying to swing it right now so that I can work a 14 and 2 13s.
Okay.
Because I'd rather... I work 4 days a week, but one of those days doesn't really count and could potentially be eliminated as a day I work.
Yeah, so... And that would be dope if you could get your schedule to just 3 days a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's already dope that I've got it down to 4.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Well, technically 3.5.
kudos to you for like being content in that job, because I know like a lot of other people wouldn't be and like wouldn't be able to like handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have this romanticized fantasy about work that like is really unhealthy to not only the individual but society. Where like working in a factory or like working a blue collar job is bad. I don't understand that.
Well, I don't.
Like I've worked in landscaping, hardscaping, and a little bit of carpentry. And while I don't want to do it again, I'm glad I had the experience.
Yeah.
So now I like know what it's like, and I could do it again if I have to. Like
Yeah.
I would love to instead get a job in writing, which is why I'm trying to get a degree in that. But if I need to go back to like landscaping as a fallback, I can, which I feel like other people like aren't willing to do. It's like if I don't get a job in
I get out of landscaping, I'm out of landscaping.
No, I feel like people who like will get a degree in something, and if they can't find a job in that degree, they won't settle for something in the meantime.
Yeah.
Like I don't. While I would again love to get a job in writing right as I graduate, I don't expect it. Like I know it might take time, so I know there's a very good chance I like might have to go back to landscaping or get a different job while I look. So people, I guess, just aren't flexible enough, and like I said, they have this romanticized idea of work.
Well, I also think like a part of the problem is that everyone who like has a job and like who does something like in a factory, blue collar, it's all contributing to society.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everybody contributes to society in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But like you kind of have to get into a headspace where you're content with how you contribute to society.
That's a good way of framing it.
Because like basically my opinion on my job is essentially, well, if this doesn't get cleaned, they can't make bread that's good enough to sell. If they can't make bread that's good enough to sell, that's one out of a lot of bread factories that is probably going to get shut down by the government for not being like good enough to, like, you know, the Food Safety and Health Administration. They're not going to like let us keep running if our shit's not clean. So, you know, I clean it, we make bread, we sell bread. Bread is pretty cheap and easy to obtain. So it's like a good source of, it's basically like food.
Yeah,
production.
You're feeding families, Zach.
I don't want to say that because while I am providing like a service that allows food to be provided on a greater scale than it would be if I didn't provide that, if that service that I provide wasn't provided, I should say, it's not like I'm putting food in people's mouths directly.
I'll put food in your mouth if you'd like. I don't know if you're into that.
Food.
No, I get that. And I think that's the reason I'm trying now to like get a degree and get out of, say, like landscaping that I did in the past, because I wasn't content with it. I was more than happy to do it because anything that's a job is like, I need money, but I wasn't content with it.
Well, also I feel like another part that a reason that people aren't as content. Sorry to interrupt you.
You're good.
Is like they feel like they're not well enough compensated for what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm of the opinion that I'm compensated plenty for what I do, maybe even too much.
Yeah, and I realize what I'm saying is like that I wasn't content with landscaping might contradict what I said prior, and I'm not trying to contradict what I said prior. Even though I wasn't content with landscaping, I did it anyways because I needed a paycheck.
Yeah.
But I also put in the effort to like try to find my goal and like find a dream job. So that's, I think, the golden kind of ratio is if you don't have a dream job or you aren't content with your current job, don't drop everything to obtain that dream, because then you're not going to have money and you're not going to have like support. But also don't give up on that dream. Like I said the other day on the last episode, the actual last episode of the Patreon podcast, I said basically how regardless of where I'm at in life, what job I have, where I'm living, like what my hobbies are, I'm always going to stream on Twitch, because as of right now, that's my number one like dream job. And if I stop streaming, I'm no longer pursuing that goal. Yeah. So Twitch is like always going to be something I'm going to be doing. I'm always going to try to keep writing and keep that dream alive. But if I have to go back to like a blue collar job, I'll do it, because like I need a paycheck. It's just a matter of,
it's survival over or I don't want to say like survival, but it's like having a like stable job over, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, don't give up on your goals, but also
don't sacrifice your lifestyle for your goals if you don't have to.
Yeah. We're getting deep on this podcast. We usually don't get deep on free episodes. God damn.
We don't?
It's crazy. We save those topics usually for the Patreon. Like, your breakup was a pretty deep topic, and we saved that for the Patreon.
I mean, I guess.
You guys, how has the single life been?
I'm single.
How's the dating game?
Confusing.
What do you mean confusing?
What do you mean? What do I mean confusing?
I mean, what particular instances are making you confused? Go into detail. This is a podcast.
Well,
People
I'm a
want
fucking
detail.
hunk, so I don't know why no one wants to date me.
Okay. Sure.
No, I'm very bad at communicating over text.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, because I'm using, like, dating apps to meet people, because I don't want to date anybody at work, because that'd be fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I don't really meet people in other ways.
Yeah.
But it's very much like with dating apps, I'm basically competing with every other guy on that app for this one girl's attention.
That's somewhat true, but a very pessimistic attitude.
Listen, that's how it feels.
Okay.
But it's so like basically, but like my point I guess is that if I'm not like engaging enough, there's someone else who will be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm likely to lose that like contact with that person if there's someone else who is more engaging that they can talk to instead of me. And I suck ass at texting. I really do.
You do. I brought this up on a Patreon episode because I didn't want to call you out on a free episode, but it's been like 5 months.
Well, I'm
now.
calling myself out on this free episode.
It's been like 5 months since I brought up that topic. I get so annoyed when I text you because you'll just respond with one words, and I don't know like what your emotion is, how like your motivations. Like, I'm so annoyed. I'll ask you something and you'll just say okay, and it'll be like a yes or no question. I'm like, so I guess that means
okay
yes.
means yes.
But like, tell me what you want.
I want you.
Okay, I can't do that. I'm still in a relationship.
By the way, I think yours has officially lasted longer than mine at this point.
Yeah, you started before us, but you've been broken up for how long now?
It's been like a month.
A month? Wow, that's crazy to think.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yep.
Yeah, huh?
Oh well.
Oh. Yeah, but
Things end.
I'm doing great. My relationship, rock solid. We're perfect for each other, soulmates. What?
That's what I thought.
What Zach wishes he could have.
The only thing I wish I could have is you.
I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got lucky because I also wasn't great at like dating and flirting.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's because I was too real, and people like want a front at first. They want something that'll excite them. I remember one time on Tinder, someone asked me what job I had, and then when I told them journalist for an esports organization, because that back then that was my job, before that esports organization went under, they unmatched me. They unmatched me when they learned I was a journalist for an esports organization.
That's weird.
And yeah, and then in a similar instance, before that, I had another girl who asked me, questions about my life. I told her I was going for a job interview. It was the interview for that journalist position that I eventually got. I'm like, oh, I'm interviewing to be a journalist at an esports organization. And she ghosted me. And then like 9 months later, I sent her a message, should I have said doctor? ? Just to be a dick.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know.
Did she respond to that?
No, she didn't respond to that either.
Aw.
Then again, I haven't
That would have been fucking hilarious.
opened Tinder since I started my relationship, so maybe she's responded by now. Maybe she's interested.
That'd be hilarious. Oh, you said doctor. Well, let me tell you.
But I don't know. I feel like I wasn't boring. There were some girls I matched with who were just the worst.
Oh my God! That's another thing about it too. is like there are some girls with the attitude of like, well, every guy's competing to talk to me, so I don't have to be interesting at all.
That's not where I was going, but thank you for interrupting. I was just going to say there's some people on dating apps in both genders that don't know how to drive a conversation.
Yeah.
There would be some girls I matched with where I was the only one asking questions and like trying to find out about them and like see who they are as a person, and their sole purpose in this conversation was to answer my questions and not ask about me or not care about me, it seemed. Our dog just kicked the tripod a little. It's fine. We don't need to fix it.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. I was trying to be real, and I wasn't boring, I don't think. Looking back,
You're very boring.
In the
Terribly
most self-aware way possible, I don't think I was like a boring person on dating apps. I don't think I'm successful in that medium.
Yeah, there were like 3 people, I want to say, that I matched with that were like, know how to carry a conversation. And like I did my best, but they didn't give me anything to fucking work with.
They told you that you should...
Like in their bio.
Oh, in their bio they like want people who can carry a conversation,
yeah.
and they themselves can't.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the worst people.
Yeah.
I would start just swiping left. I would start ignoring anyone who had any stereotypical like phrase like that. There were a few phrases I would just immediately reject. Like, there was one about adventuring. I forget the exact phrasing. I don't know. You might.
Oh, I love going on adventures.
Yeah, I would immediately swipe left on that.
Do you want to fucking machete your way through South America or something? Like, or are you talking about, oh, I've never been to this gas station before, we should go?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's like...
There's nothing to adventure out here.
I really don't understand.
Rural America.
People are just the worst. So I would swipe left on people like talking about how they like to go on adventures. The carry a conversation thing was something I saw a lot where
yeah.
in their bio they would say, you must know how to carry a conversation, or like you must keep me entertained. And I would swipe left on that because like pretentious and
yeah,
like kind of rude. So be gone.
Entertain me.
Be gone. And then this one's a little bit more personal. I'm not saying that like I swipe left on these people because they were bad people, just because it's personal preference, something I don't want in a relationship. I would swipe left on people with kids because I don't want to be a dad.
Yeah, same deal on me.
I don't want to be a stepdad or an actual dad.
I feel like it's even worse if they have the phrase, if you have a problem with that, swipe left. Yeah, I was going to. Thanks for fucking acting like you're self-righteous because you had a kid at 18.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're acting like you're better than me, but you're not that much better than me.
It was something at like 20 that I didn't want. I didn't want a kid or a stepkid. So
fucking weird that you wouldn't want a fucking stepkid at 20, dude.
Yeah, no. There are a lot of giveaways. Also, sometimes like on Tinder and other dating apps, you can put like a song that you really like.
Yeah.
And I would know to swipe left if like someone put just a song that I'm not gonna ever listen to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of girls have like Taylor Swift or just like other artists that are the exact opposite of the music I listen to. So I wouldn't usually swipe right on those people. There were just a lot of little giveaways. But I'm proud of myself. I learned about this recently from a friend that apparently it isn't just a stereotype. It isn't a popular culture like movie and TV thing. There are guys out there, a large majority of guys on dating apps just swipe right on everyone.
Wow.
And they just accept everyone to try to like match with as many people as possible. Meanwhile, when I have dating apps, I read through everyone's bio and their pictures like a fucking detective.
Oh yeah, and like one phrase I really don't like is 420 friendly, because it doesn't give any explanation. Do you smoke weed? Do you not smoke weed but you're okay with it? Do you have like a medical marijuana license in Pennsylvania? Because I did research last night and medical marijuana is okay in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Do you...
Are you into edibles?
Yeah. Are you like what the fuck does that mean? Because 420 friendly could literally mean like, oh, 420 blaze up, dude, and then you never do anything with 420.
You never smoke.
You've never even seen a weed, but when someone mentions weed, you're like, oh, dude, blaze up.
Yeah. I don't know. I was surprised to learn that there were a lot of guys, a majority of guys out there who just swipe right on everyone.
Also, okay with weed isn't a personality trait.
Yeah, there were some girls who...
There's so many non-personality traits on dating apps.
Liking The Office, having your only interests be dogs. And don't get me wrong, I love The Office and I love dogs, but I also like other things.
I like my dog more than I'll probably like you.
Oh, I hated that one.
Thank you.
Instant swipe left.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
for even 1 second saying that I'm less than a pet to you. If you're on... Like, if we... Basically, the way that's, like, worded leads to the understanding that, like, if we date and, like, get married or whatever the fuck, you're still gonna think of me as less than your pet.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going off track. We're going off the rails, but we always go off topic, baby.
Thrillville off the rails, dude.
Thrillville, baby. We always go off topic on this podcast. I recently watched the anime Toradora. Don't know if you've seen it. It's a romance anime. And spoiler alert for Toradora, if you haven't seen it, it's been out for forever. Don't watch the next minute of this podcast if you don't want spoilers. In that show, the two love interests don't start out as love interests. It evolves into that. But what they do start out as is basically enemies. And the girl is such a dick to the guy. She calls him a dog and a mangy mutt and a mongrel. And
it turns out that's actually his kink.
Regardless, how am I then supposed to support that relationship in the second half of the season?
When she's so abusive in the first half?
Yeah, and I just didn't understand how people love this anime so much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's bad, but I didn't fall in love with that anime because I'm this is something I can't get past. Their relationship started off as so toxic, and even after they started dating, she still
calls him a dog a couple times. And I'm like,
that's fucking weird.
That's not okay. What?
Yeah, no.
So again, going back to the Tinder point we just brought up, whenever someone had the phrase, I'll like my dog more than you, I would swipe left. Sometimes, if they would have in their bio, I might like your dog more than you, and I'd be okay with that because my dog's beautiful. I love my dog as well.
Yeah, there's a thing that's I find acceptable.
That's more playful.
I swiped right for your dog.
That's more playful than, my dog's better than you, you're trash, scum.
Yep.
So there were a lot of giveaways on Tinder when I had Tinder that made me swipe left on people. And unlike the majority of males, apparently, I swiped left more often than not than I was trying to match with people.
I'm in a similar boat.
I was very, very picky.
It's weird to now have standards.
And maybe that's why I didn't have much success. It's because I was very picky, but
I mean,
it worked out for the better.
I haven't had much success either.
It worked out for the better, I would say. Because I matched with a handful of people in my short stint on Tinder, and only one of them got past 35 messages with me, and that person's now my girlfriend of a year and a half, and hopefully soon to be wife in the next couple of years. We've been talking a lot about it. I just don't have the money for the ring, and I also am trying to keep it a secret as to when I'm going to propose. So it's a fun conversation to have with her, because we want to plan out roughly when the wedding will be, but I'm never gonna say when I'm gonna propose. So it's a real
She's
fun...
So when do you want to do the wedding? I'm down for October of 2021. You're maybe.
I'll think about it.
You're well, when are you gonna propose? Not by that time.
My answer is, I'll never tell you every time she asks. So I'm never gonna tell you. It's fun. It's a fun little guessing game. But yeah, that's why I'm saying maybe, even though I didn't have success on Tinder and I got ghosted and unmatched a ton, maybe the way I went about Tinder was successful because now I'm in a healthy, long-lasting relationship. And I know a year and a half, before anyone's but I know what I just said is gonna make some people comment, potentially. A year and a half isn't a long relationship, but we're not breaking up, so it's gonna be a long relationship. Relax. I'm a cocky son of a bitch.
You are. Fuck you.
I'm sorry, Zach.
No, it's okay. I do think that, I don't know, how good of detectives they are, but my friends that I previously mentioned who invited me to their wedding, basically, the other day, asked me if if I'm still coming, and I was of course, I love you guys, And they were like, all right, cool, are you going to need your +1 or not? And I was like, no, don't need a +1 anymore. So I don't know if they're, like, put 2 and 2 together, or if I'm going to have to tell them when they ask how she is, but, like, it'll be a fun conversation either way.
So do some of your friends not know you're single now?
People that, like, I don't talk to that often, I didn't make the rounds and tell everybody in my life that I'm single now.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, I let my parents tell my church friends.
Oh, that's smart. So you don't have to do it. That's a good way to go about it.
Simply because they saw them first.
Oh, well, that too.
Like, I could have texted my old youth pastor, but that's weird as fuck to just out of the blue. Like, hey, I graduated high school, like, 3 or 4 years ago, and I definitely haven't talked to you for at least 1 year. Just got dumped. What's good?
Dudes, I feel bad because I was a big fan of my old youth pastor when I was in high school. He was a really nice guy. He was really chill, very friendly. He came across, if I could not have a lisp like Mike Tyson, he came across as more of like a friend than like a pastor or like I guess like adult. And I haven't talked to him since high school because like
you're a youth pastor and I'm not the youth anymore, fucker.
Well, I'm also living an hour away.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to that church really, and I'm a little scared to reach out on social media platforms. I definitely couldn't do it on like Twitter because of things I posted on Twitter. Like, that's why I'm trying to keep my Facebook clean so I can talk to like family members potentially on Facebook, or like at least message them with Facebook Messenger.
I'm gonna go dirty up your Facebook real quick.
Please don't.
Taint the whole thing.
I think Facebook's the only social media I've left that I haven't cursed on, which I'm really proud of myself for.
I didn't do a swear here.
No swears. And therefore, if I message like a family member on Facebook Messenger and they happen to click on my account and look at my account, they don't judge me and disown me. So
they sift through your entire account, be like, oh, he hasn't sworn on this one, we're good. We can still talk to him.
It's a minor anxiety, just a small little flame in the back of my head.
I understand
a small
feeling.
Little ember of a flame in the back of my head. But like, just the thought of how many family members and church members and like friends potentially that would disown me if they read through my entire Twitter and some of the things I've said. I've never said anything cancelable, but a lot of fuck words.
A lot of fuck.
A lot of fuck.
I don't know if those people had like a actual like window into how my life actually is now. If they would still tolerate me. I like to think they would because they're better than that, but I could not tell you.
I agree. I think I would like to think that like I wouldn't be disowned by the majority of my friends, family, and associates, but you never know. That's why I get worried, and that's why I'm trying to clean up my Twitter as well and like make less sexual jokes and just like jokes with the F word in it. I don't know. I don't want to be fake, but I also want friends.
There's that F word again.
I want to stay close with my family. Like, I feel fake avoiding super, I guess, risky jokes or, like, sexual jokes on Twitter nowadays. But, you know, I'd like to have a good relationship with my family. So, it's finding that gray area between the two, I guess. I'm trying my hardest to succeed in life.
Yes, that is true.
You should upload to YouTube.
You should stop talking about it.
No.
Maybe.
Because I want you to upload.
Alright, then do this video with me.
I'll do a video with you.
Alright, I'll be ready on Saturday.
I can't do Saturday.
Then I'll be ready on Sunday.
This is the third time in the last 24 hours I've told you I'm busy Saturday.
Then I'll be ready on Sunday. God.
Alright. Thank you all for watching the podcast. I'm moving out. I'm moving out.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually moving out Saturday, so I don't have to live with Zach anymore. This is the last episode of the podcast for that reason.
It's okay, I'll be moving into wherever he's moving to.
And we will hope to see you in the future. Please consider checking out our own personal stuff. We talked about it a little bit in this episode, but I'm back to uploading to YouTube, and I'm still doing weekly, like 4 or 5 streams a week. Zach is streaming and will upload to YouTube.
Maybe.
So try to support our personal stuff as well if you enjoy the podcast. It would mean a lot to us. I always have people who like apologize to me in my Twitch chat for like not supporting financially. That I don't care about. To me, like, there are so many ways you can support me non-financially that mean the world to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want to remind people that if you can't support us on Patreon or you can't like donate to us on Twitch individually, simply following us or subscribing to us on YouTube is a world of difference.
Yeah.
And that's something like free that you could do. So if
Yep.
if you are interested, please check it out. It would mean a lot to us. Have a lovely, lovely rest of your day. Bowser, you feeling good? He woke up just in time.
He did.
I feel like he's starting to learn our outro, and he like knows when the podcast is over. That would be cool. We should train him.
We train him to know when the podcast is ending so he can like be friends again.
Yeah, he's been asleep for the last
You're staring at me a lot.
He's
You got
been
a staring
asleep.
problem over there?
He's been asleep for the last 40 minutes of the podcast, and now he
Yeah,
finally
you got a
woke
little
up.
staring
Come
problem.
here. Here, you want to say bye? No, you want to scratch yourself. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed, and we will see you all next time. Peace.
Bye.